Hi everyone, Chris England here again. This time I'm doing another one of my summoning videos, and this is going to be the Ascended Heir and Rearmed Robin banner. So yeah, I have a pretty big backlog of stuff that I've been meaning to do. Haven't really had a huge amount of energy to do them, but like I said, I have a job. In a slightly better place than what I was before when I originally started doing these. So I am actually starting to run out of questions for myself. I might end up repeating some questions. I might end up phrasing the question a little bit differently. I did happen to write out a couple of ideas for myself, but I unfortunately am kind of running low on the idea squeeze. So if any viewers have any questions that they want to ask me, I'll expand it to other games. I play currently Ozzer Lane and Alice Fiction. If you want any ideas, thoughts on the Fire Emblem series in general, those are fine questions too. I was trying to mainly focus on Fire Emblem Heroes because these are Fire Emblem Heroes videos. But for what it's worth, I can try and keep coming up with question after question. But viewers like yourselves do actively help me create more content. So, and also if you like the content that I provide, hopefully it's not super late in terms of what I offer, then hitting the subscribe button would really help me out. So let's get started. And beginning off with some free summons, we do finally pull a loot. This one is a neutral. So her genius does not necessarily extend to my account, but who knows? We also get in the first 5 pulls of the Ascended Heir banner, we get a Ascended Celica. This one will be a merge, as I already have a very good one with plus attack, whereas this one is plus res minus attack. So the first question I will ask myself personally is, what are 3 duo pairings that you would like to see in Fae, and these can be any pairings I want as long as I'm doing one male set and one female set because we have been seeing way too many duos that are female on female with very few that are actually combining the two. So probably the biggest one I would like to see is going to be a young version of Eliwood and Hector because long into easily in even in Lynn's story they mentioned that they spar that they do sparring matches as starting from when they were kids and now as like teenagers mid adults. I think I'd also like to see Effie and Rinka together as maybe another version, another picnic or food themed one. As not only are they known for being very good eaters, there was also a paralogue or a story in Face specifically that covered them being very big eaters. So I think having some kind of thing where they're trying to constantly out eat each other in order to fuel their training and beating the ever loving stuffing out of everything else. The other one that I kind of want to go for would be more of like a LGBT pairing, and this would be Manuela and Dorothea. Dorothea has already gotten a harmonic, but she has not gotten a duo. And this one I would actually be interested in seeing as a bridal one. So maybe not necessarily that they're looking for the perfect man, but they could also be looking for each other. As we do, that is one of the endings that I know of for support in Three Houses. Anyways, let's keep going. And the luck keeps coming with, sadly, one of the worst kind of IVs for Phil, a 4-star Phila with a plus defense minus speed. But we do manage to get air with a plus speed minus HP. So this is a very, very good start for this banner for me. Um, I can't say that I don't like Phila. I remember her very, very decently when I played Awakening. I do think that the unfortunate thing is that she doesn't have any really standout fodder. Like having Pegasus Flight on a 4-star is nice, but it only goes up to 2 while she's 4-star. If it was reversed, I would say that she's a little bit more valuable, but that's all that I have. So probably another question is what harmonics would I like to see placed in the game? Once again, I'm only doing the top 3. This one's a little bit harder because I'm not as familiar with non-in-game relationships. Probably the best one that I can think of is like a Halloween Lucius and Libra, just because I would really like to see them see what kind of conversations they'd have as two characters with the very same kind of dude looks like a lady kind of curse, as well as the abused backstory, and also the just the fact that they have very similar um, classes in general. But as for some other ones, the best one that I can realistically think of is maybe a duo, the harmonic of Effie. Once again, Effie has yet to have a alt, so of course. And same thing with Gwendolyn. So it would be a Fates and Binding set. And I'd be very interested in seeing what kind of lessons or what kind of conversations Gwendolyn would be able to pick off of Effie as a very strong unit. Aside from that, probably a minor one might be Oswin and Draug. So Mist, Shadow Dragon, and Blazing. I really can't say anything for this one. This one was kind of just like an afterthought. Sadly, I don't have any really good male female combos at this point, but for what's in sense of purposes, that's about all that I have. Anyways, on to the next part. Keep on rolling. So we do manage to pull a plus attack minus HP August, a brand new addition to the party. But the best thing on this portion is Gregor. We have a plus speed minus resistance Gregor, the a Fire Emblem's version of Heavy from Team Fortress 2. I do absolutely love the English dub way more than the Japanese dub. I think the Japanese dub made a massive miss by trying to make him sound so normal, but it is what it is. So, two questions. I asked a couple of two questions originally, but I think these ones are a little bit better because I don't know what effect they would have on the game. But for starting is, what 4-star special units would you like to see be placed in the 3 to 4-star pool? So this isn't actually going to include any units that are seasonals. This is just regular units. I would say that pretty much any unit that's a first year or even a second year could easily be moved to the 3 to 4-star pool. But I think some of the best examples probably are either units that have a resplendent form, so like Sanaki, Takumi, Deirdre, Elise, Ephraim, Jafar, Olwen, Julia, and Ike. They all can be very good units, but unfortunately, because of the power creep, they have to have massive amounts of investment poured into them just to make them worthwhile. Other units like Leo, Luke, Mist, Harden are probably also very good choices because they don't truly deserve the 5-star status that they have. Luke's probably one of the worst examples because he's a Gen 1 sword cav with no real good inheritable skills that can't be found elsewhere. And his sword, even refined, really doesn't do enough to validate what it offers. Similarly, though, the next idea question could be, what skills need better fodder? And this would be like more units that have these skills as their tier 3 skill at 4-star. Probably some of the best ones I could think of are Swift Sparrow. There are only 2 units that go up to that as a 4-star, and both of them are seasonals. Everything else only goes up to Swift Sparrow 1. Water Sweep, I would say, is an interesting idea just because, again, it's only available on the base Soren with only a 5-star being able to hit that 3. I think the obvious one, distant counter, close counter. We already have enough skills that either are upgraded versions of distant counter and close counter, or have ways to prevent counterattacks, which kind of means that they might be less valuable. We just got Quick Riposte 4 from Ganglot, and so Quick Riposte 3, even though it's available on several units, none of the units have it as a 4-star tier 3. So Tsubaki, I know that Klein has it as a 2. And then I think it's also like 5-star locked in general. Probably a lesser one is any ideal or catch skills. Because oddly enough, we've had a massive amount of units with attack speed catch, attack defense catch isn't super high, attack res catch isn't very high. So I think but the only way that you can get attack speed catch 4 without having to give up a 5-star just for that is to fodder off a New Year's Liar, as she is not only the only unit to come with it as a tier 3 at 4-star, she is the only 4-star unit that has it, period. Anyways, on to the next summons. we have one final hit in the form of a Brave Tiki with plus attack minus HP. So I'm lucky because this now means that the spark or freebie that I chose to pull now is going to devote all of her skills, all of her SP to the new version to give her that plus attack while maintaining a neutral HP. Um, so probably as a final thought for the or like second to last thought, what do I think of the new information about Engage as well as the emblems? So the idea of being able to combine with a figure in Final History is a very interesting thought process. I've actually seen something very much like this. I played I think it was a game by level 5 called Jeanne d'Arc for the PSP. And they did something very similar where you had each of the main characters, so the Jeanne d'Arc, her friend Leanne, and later Cuisis. Then you had Roger, Giles, and Richard all had bracelets that had different gems in them. And these gems, once per map, could change you into an armored form. These armored forms gained bonuses as a Gale Force-esque move after defeating an enemy. And I think you didn't have to worry about it once per turn. You could legitimately keep going as long as you had enemies to defeat. But it was only for one map. You did still have to build up power in order to do it. So I will say that this is very similar to what I've seen before. I don't think this is a very new thought. For the emblems, I very much hope that we're not just getting 12 and that we can also get more of not only the remaining lords or main characters, but also the fact that I would prefer seeing something kind of like what Awakening did, where you had like a certain selection of characters from each game. Like I think what was it, 7 or 8 per game. So in addition to the DLC for just the spot pass, I think you had 50 additional characters that were usable. Some of them were fully maxed out in terms of their abilities. So for me, seeing only one lord from each game, and also for the Byleth and Corrin being only a specific gender, this actually feels like a really watered down version of Awakening, which is sad because the Switch feels like it could do way more, and also you can do way more in Three Houses from what I kind of remember just because of the exploring the monastery. Sure, monastery sounds boring, but it's something. Let's also hope that the DLC for this one is actually worthwhile in that sense. Like you don't like each pack is like 5 or 6 different rings, or the idea could also be that you have different forms instead. I do also find that the idea where you can just keep trying again and again with the armor is a little bit too simplistic. I do hope that they create a mode where you can only engage with a specific emblem once per map. But that's it for this one. On to the Spark. And ending off the banner with our spark of course, the Rearmed Robin. We did manage to get a grand total score of 7.5 with actually pulling every single unit outside, as including the spark with Air, Gregor, as well as 2 5-star off focus, Brave Tiki and August, a 4-star Phila, as well. Oh, also forgot Celica, Ascended Celica. So 3 off focus 5 stars, 1 4-star focus, and then a 4-star special in the form of loot. All in all, a very, very good results banner. I would say this is actually one of my better pull rates in total, just because of the sheer amount of stuff that I did manage to pull. Ending off this session, I will pose the question, is there a way to make a banner with exclusively rearmed units? And the easiest one that I can actually think of, based on what we have seen for the last couple of heroes, is a Fallen banner. And some of the best examples of things that I can probably think of are Fallen Grail, one of the units that I really, really hope that they do something with. He's been out of the game for basically 4, maybe 5 years, and is exclusively seasonal. Then we could give Crom another one. And while I don't necessarily like giving units that already have more than the anniversary another version of themselves, I don't think I would mind in this case because it is a cipher design. The other option now, Beast is a little bit harder to work with, but one of the easiest ones that I can personally think of is Dudu. Post time skip when he transforms into a Crest Beast. And then you have, as the final one, this one will be a very odd choice, but we also have a either Fallen Julius or Fallen Deirdre with a tome. All of these options are very open. This is a very open-ended thing, but I do think that having rearmed hero or fully rearmed hero banner might actually rake in a lot of money, just because those heroes are not necessarily gonna be put into the main pool unless the weapons are a lot weaker than the arcane ones that we currently have. So that's it for this round of summonings. Thank you all very much for listening, watching. If you, like I said before at the beginning, if you enjoy these types of videos, feel free to subscribe. It does help the channel out immensely. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.